Well, greetings everyone, and welcome to our very special NFL draft show. Uh, I see a lot of the guys are down here in the queue, so we're going to get right to it right after we do our little commercial stuff. Uh, as you can see down on the bottom with the Sportz Krib, home of the Sportz Krib Network, you can check us out right there on YouTube, of course, along with LinkedIn and Facebook. You can subscribe and donate if you'd like to our channel. As you can see, it would be Cash App $JEK3. So let's get right to it. I see we have Dave. We have Reggie. How you doing, Reg?
What's going on, fellas?
Okay, and there he is. And we have Bo.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, buddy?
Hey, guys.
How you doing?
So, Bo, I see things are going pretty well with your station. Where were you? What was that? We had is that the arena or what?
Yeah. So the last game I was at was arena. I have rugby on Friday, and then the last home arena game on Sunday.
Nice, Dave. You know a little bit about the rugby, right? Is it the rugby at rugby and wrestling?
Yeah. No, I played rugby for about 15 years.
Yeah.
Wow. I played in high school.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Probably can't find that in too many high school programs.
I was gonna say I didn't even know that was a high school sport. There,
that's
what I'm saying. I don't know if that was
offered. Yeah, they didn't let us. They didn't let us.
It's mostly a club sport, but California has a lot of rugby.
Wow.
And
see now you know as Bo was saying. See, I played lacrosse in high school.
Yeah, they didn't let us chase each other with sticks. They were like, "Yeah, no, you guys are dumb. You're not doing that."
Yeah, but it was a great way to stay in shape after football. But I couldn't imagine Jim Brown bearing down on me. I think that would kind of be a nightmare.
For sure.
If you're a lacrosse player, So, but guys, how were you? Just overall, before we get down to everything. You know what? Do we have a Sue's Corner tonight?
We do.
I don't want Reggie to jump off here. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Sue's Corner, and it's on the draft. She says one last draft story. Texas edge rusher Barron Sorrell arrived in Green Bay on Wednesday, even though he didn't expect to be taken until the second day of the NFL draft. He wanted to experience the draft and hear his name called in person.
Nice.
He watched Thursday night's festivities from his hotel before sitting in the green room alone on Friday. Through day 2, however, he remained undrafted. There was a couple guys that were there day 1 that didn't get drafted either. Sorrell decided to stay for day 3 and went back to the green room long after it had emptied 2 days prior. Instead of getting down on himself, he adapted the philosophy. I just had to switch that perspective and realize that it's a blessing to even be there. Not everybody gets drafted, and definitely not a lot of people go to the green room. Only first-round picks are normally announced by Commissioner Roger Goodell. But Goodell stepped to the podium at pick number 154 in the 4th round at Lambeau Field before announcing that the home team selection was in the building. It was perfect. There was still a lot of Packer fans there, and they gave him a warm welcome. And his family was there, too, to share the moment. Seated in the front row for his press conference were his older brother Avery, his mom, his dad, and his godparents. Sorrell said he didn't want to attend the draft in person just for himself, but so that his family could savor the experience too. Quote, they sacrificed so much for me to be here, and I'm just happy that I get to share this opportunity with them because they deserve it. I could go on and on about them, but let's just say they sacrificed a lot for me to be here, unquote. Sounds like the Packers got a good kid there. Hope he makes it. And that's Sue's Corner.
Yeah, that was. I think he walked up. He ended up walking up to the podium, right, when he was drafted. Wasn't he the one? I think it was day 3.
Day 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was there, and even Goodell actually, because he normally, I think Goodell only does the day 1 announcements mostly, and he actually took the time to announce them, which I think is pretty cool.
That is
I'm not a big Goodell fan, but that was a classy move indeed.
Speaking of classy, let's go on the other end. Y'all got jokes down there in Atlanta, huh, Reggie?
About Shador, what you're saying, a prank call situation here is what you're referencing.
Yeah, Shador wasn't the only one.
Man, it was like 3 or 4 guys. Mason Graham got it. I heard at the 7th pick. I heard Mason Graham got it. I heard Abdul Carter as well, guys. I saw an article today that said Abdul Carter got it as well.
Yeah, interesting. Y'all got jokes. It only cost you what, 350 grand, something like that.
Yeah, that's a lot of yards for Jeff's son to mow there. I'm not sure exactly how he's going to cover that, but yeah. Sure.
Well, and then of course, if it becomes that some of these other ones get tied back to him also.
Right. What about that though? Right, your family's out like $500,000 because your kid. They're all like added up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly. Well, especially because if I remember right, Ulbricht's contract's only like $300K. He'd be paying to do that job.
Goodness, he's already out a third of that right now.
He's already,
gracious, yikes.
Well, I think a chunk of that was on they find the Falcons. And they find
the Falcons.
So the Falcons got
fined.
The Falcons 250, and then Ulbricht's is 100.
Yeah, yeah, 350 altogether so far.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, crazy.
The thing that I was a little surprised they didn't get with was losing a draft pick next year. I thought for sure that would have been one of the things, right? You're like, okay, money, right? But you're messing with the draft. So it seems like you target their ability to draft.
Yeah, the money is the least. The draft picks is, I agree.
I don't think Jeff's saying the money's the least for Jeff and his family. I'm just going to throw that out there. I don't want to speak for Jeff, but let me just throw that out there.
I think any of us, if your pay got cut by a third, you feel that.
It's a very expensive phone call, gentlemen. Very expensive phone call.
But there's not too many of us that if your pay got cut by a third, you'd still be making 200 grand either. So,
yeah, I mean, true.
So,
Yeah, no, it was interesting. I mean, the fine isn't for the call though. The fine is for not having your stuff locked up, right?
The negligence, pretty much, is what it's for.
That's exactly it. It's the breach of intellectual property is really what it is, right?
Yeah.
And I can even appreciate it. Like if I'm at home and I'm with people that I trust, my laptop's plugged in. I'm not logging out of everything every time I walk away. Like, I'm thinking that my house is somewhere that things should be cool. Apparently not. But, everybody in the league is about to be real mad because everything is going to have 2-part verification now, and it's going to have timeouts, and everybody's going to be like, that kid, if he ever comes into our building, we're going to beat him down. Because now
they could probably limit his contact information also, Bo, right? Like, does this number need to go to every single human being? Like, just limit to some of that visibility of their personal information and where it goes.
It was a hack, right? I mean, it wasn't.
No, I think it was on the DC's iPad.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was just like laying there, and it wasn't password protected. And kid
The
wrote it
defensive
down.
coordinator
and,
really needs Shador's phone number, guys. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves here. Does the defensive coordinator, you guys weren't drafting him anyway. So, I mean, do you really even need his phone number? It's crazy.
I mean, the DC sure doesn't anyway. I mean, had it been Hunter, sure.
Yeah,
Like,
right. It makes a lot more
bit.
sense. A lot more sense. For sure.
But yeah, no, I mean, at the end of the day, it sounds like everybody that was in the coaching staff front office had access to it, right? But again, this happens in your own home. You're not thinking much of it. So yeah, I mean, there's just going to be policy changes that come out of this. It's going to piss everybody off.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and it wasn't like it was a teenager. He was 21.
No, he's 21.
Yeah, it's 21.
Now, I did a lot
absolutely.
of dumb stuff when I was 21, but still.
Yeah, I didn't do that though, right? Like any prank calls would have been like junior high type stuff.
Yeah. Well,
right?
Yeah.
First of
Get a
all,
number off your dad's iPad and calling is just, I mean, that's ballsy, man. I'm telling you, that's goodness.
First of all, me and Dave didn't have access to that technology anyway, so,
I mean, I didn't either. We still had like the wall phone and the yellow pages.
Okay.
James, like, he stole my notepad. And he took it.
Remember when you had to have notes on your notepad?
Yeah.
I still take notes. I'm a note taker, by the way, gentlemen. I take notes. My daughter does too. Maybe she got it from me. I'm a note taker, man. Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
This is me all the time.
So somebody's asking, Anthony's asking, what are yellow pages?
Don't do me like
What's a
that.
payphone? That's hilarious.
See, that's messed up, Anthony.
Goodness gracious.
Oh man.
Okay, guys. All right, let's hope some of the other guys show up. But so let's start here with day one. And I thought it was a couple interesting things here, but I'm going to start with the first pick because the former Falcons quarterback, Warren Moon, he gave Cam his blessing to wear number 1. Mm-hmm. What do you think here, Bo? Should you have to, like prove yourself, like you got this number in junior varsity, when you get to varsity, you get this number.
Sure.
What's your thoughts, on that,
So
Did the kid have to earn his number or what?
I mean, yes, I would think so. But I mean, at the same time, the team that retired his number doesn't really exist anymore, right? Like the Oilers are gone. And so maybe he doesn't really care that much anymore. He spends a lot of his time in the last place he threw the ball here in Seattle anyway. So yeah, I don't know that he really cares that much. Some guys are really tied to their number. Some guys, don't really care. I'm assuming he doesn't care that much because the organization moved and it's just wildly different than when he played there. But personally, yeah, I think you should, if you're trying to drag somebody's number out of retirement, you should have to earn it. Like when we had the 1 year of Jerry Rice here and Steve Largent gave him 80. It's like, okay, well, I mean, that makes sense. Right. So the guy that broke all of his records, I feel like you could probably let him, use that number. But, in this case, you haven't done anything. So, I mean, you might be great. You might be Ryan Leaf. We have no idea.
So what do you think, Reg?
I mean, if that's the route that Warren wants to go, I wouldn't mind going the route that LT is gone. Like listen, I guess it's his number to give. So what can I say? You know what I mean? Like, I don't really have an opinion. I didn't throw for these yards, not my number. Yep. If you would like to do that, that's fine. But I'm just as fine with the opposite. I'm just as fine as you being like, no, go out there and earn it. I'm just as fine with that too.
What do you think, Dave? He could be a Ryan Leaf.
Well, yeah, but if you're going to offer the number, do it now, because if he does earn it, and he's like wearing number 2, and he's been an All-Pro wearing number 2, why should he change the number?
Yeah.
You know, he's been all of a sudden making his bones wearing a different number. So I mean, I think it's magnanimous of Warren Moon, and you know, he's being decent about it. Hey, if he wants it, he can wear it, and I think that this is the time to do it. He's showing confidence in the kid, and yeah, there is a risk, but hey, he's showing confidence in him, and the franchise should be happy with that. As should Cam Ward.
I mean, I liked the stance of, you know, get your own number and make it famous, right?
Right.
Like, I like that stance.
We'll get down into that, Bo. Don't worry.
Oh, was I jumping ahead? My bad. Oh, I should read that thing sometimes. You do such a good job writing that all down, but I'm always running around and I miss it.
So, Dave, what did you think about the Jaguars jumping up to grab Travis Hunter? I mean, you know, first of all, I would have thought that Cleveland might have grabbed him, you know, themselves. But what did you think about that trade?
I mean, for Jacksonville, they got a new general manager, new head coach. And they paid a premium price for a guy that they feel they need. You know, their secondary sucked, and their wide receiver group wasn't very deep. So maybe they will let them start both ways. But boy, they paid a premium, and it better pay off, because next year, if they're not doing so well, they're going to wish they had that first round pick next year. You know, for the Browns, I mean, they only slipped to 5, and they picked up a lot of draft capital. So I think Jacksonville is fine doing it, but man, they paid a heavy price for that. That better pay off.
Oh,
sorry, what was that?
What do you think about Jacksonville trading up to number 2 to pick up Travis Hunter? You know, I mean, that was a need that the Browns could have filled themselves, but you know.
So it's funny because it, like, a good splash play, I liked it for him, right? You're just like, okay, you're going and getting a dude, not mad at it. But the way I would have thought they would use him is use him as a corner and then have packages for him on offense, because the one thing the Jags don't do well is play defense, right? But when you listen to Cohen, their plan is to use him on offense. And it's like, what are we doing? Like you need defense. You move up to get a guy that is better on the defensive side of the ball of the two positions. And you're like, yeah, we're going to use him on offense. Like, I mean, you can't even make this stuff up. That would be like, that'd be like the Bengals being like, you know what? We understand we don't play defense at all. We already have 3 guys making more than our entire defensive roster. But let's go get another wide receiver. Like that's the thinking that this is. So I liked it when it happened. And then when I hear the intent, I'm like, are you guys even trying to win?
Reg, what'd you think?
Yeah, I thought it was exciting. I mean, I think it's exciting for Jaguars. I kind of wonder why Cleveland moved down. I felt it would have been exciting for them as well if they had stayed in that spot. But at the end of the day, the thought of playing him on offense is kind of weird to me. Like I mean, to me, playing both ways is a no-go in the NFL. Like that's just not. If I'm a coach or a GM or anybody that has him on my team, I invest this kind of money. That's absolutely not going to happen. But I would definitely be defense first, packages for wide receiver. Maybe you get him in on special teams. Maybe. But this is kind of where I would be. So it'd be weird to see that kind of go opposite, right? Like, are they going to run him out there on corner every now and then? Maybe have some packages where they run him out there. Like that's weird.
What he's a nickel?
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
there you go. There you go, Bo. He goes out with nickel packages.
You're right. It's a nickel corner,
doesn't
man.
make
They're right for sure.
sense. Yeah, like you don't. Like, why would you do that? But that's literally the way they're talking about it, and you're just like, I feel like you're fumbling the bag and you haven't even done it yet. Like,
That's interesting. I would have to see how that plays out to give full evaluation on that. To be honest with you, if they did it that way, I mean, that's a little weird. It's weird to me.
Anthony, just to touch on yours there, I agree that I'm not a big fan of, unretiring numbers. So the way that I like to see it was similar to like when Jerry Rice came here, right? He was already spectacular. And then he moved to a new team, asked the guy that had his number retired if he could use it, right? In that scenario, I actually don't mind it because you've already made that number famous on your own for you elsewhere. You came to a team that retired it. Asking for it, I don't mind. If the guy says no, cool. If the guy says yes, cool. Right.
Another thing to that though, Bo, is like they have whole retirement ceremonies and all that stuff. Everybody walks out here. I got my family out here. All this stuff happened. And is all that for naught now? Is that just somebody you could just hand it over to somebody else that just comes and asks for the number? You could just give it to them. I kind of wish it would stay retired as well.
The thing is they don't unretire them forever is the thing. So like when soon as that player is done or leaves or whatever, that number goes back into retirement. So it doesn't like unretire it forever.
Yeah. What if that second player is better than the first? Who has the number right?
Well, that's a different.
It's a number fight now. It's at 88 in Dallas, man. There's a number fight out there. You know what I mean?
Well, but like you say, like what if you go the opposite way? What if he comes in there and he's the opposite of Warren Moon? But okay, so now
the number goes back to Warren. Then no harm, no foul at that point, evidently.
Yeah, but you got that blemish on it, right? You're just like, oh man, that was awesome.
Yeah. And what if he spends his whole career, carrying the clipboard, then.
Well, then his number's at least easier to, pass it on, right? You're like, I have one, I threw for two.
Man, a number one overall clipboard holder. That would be terrible, man.
I mean, if you think Shador's sliding, like that would be the ultimate slide. You're the number one pick, and you do nothing. I mean, again, could be Ryan Leaf, so anything's possible.
Yeah. So, Bo, I'm going to give you a chance to put on the black socks. You already had your shoes off. So, when a man comes to LT, talking about Abdul Carter here now, and he's had,
you tell him LT. You tell
all
him.
this, LT tells him, well, I appreciate it, but you got to go out and earn, do it on your own, get your own number, But I mean, he said that, it wasn't like not LT on cocaine, but
all due respect, LT.
Yeah.
Get your own number.
Yeah,
That's too bad. I'd have rather had LT on cocaine. That would have been an amazing conversation.
Well, how do we know he wasn't? Has that been verified?
See, there you can see.
I'm just gonna put it out there. I mean, it's not after 10 yet, but I'm gonna put it out there.
Yeah, see.
So,
what do you think, Bo? Well, did LT just, was he, right? Old school, stayed old school. I mean,
so I'm not mad at that. Like if it was somebody that had been killing it their whole career and then transferred in and like, hey, can I use this number? Right. Cause I've had it my whole career. I feel like that hits different than I'm just out of school. I might be cool. I might suck. I don't know. It's like, yeah, how about we don't ruin my number that they retired? It's like up in the rafters. I'm in the Ring of Honor and all that. So no, I mean, I actually respect the position that he took because I kind of look at things that same way. Like if you're established coming in, cool. If you have done nothing, yeah, go do something. Let's see you do something on the field before you try and unretire my number.
Okay. Reg, I mean, is it just us old guys or what?
No, man. I am team go do something, man. Go get your own number, man. Go get your own number. Go get your own number. Like that. Like this wouldn't be a question. It's I get it, and I get having respect for me. Maybe I'll sign a poster for you, kid. You know what I mean? But what I'm not gonna do is bring my number down from the rafters and then have you running around with it. Like, why would I do that? Why? I mean, I don't even understand why you would even do it. I think it's great for like the warm moons. That's why I don't knock the warm moons of the world. I think it's great that people will do it. I just think there's no real reason to. No, go get another number and be great. I don't even see the problem with that. I don't see. Yeah, that's what most people do, right? Isn't that's kind of protocol, to be honest with you.
And maybe there's just an age requirement to have this school of thought.
I mean, I'm just saying, go do something, man.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, here's the deal. Abdul Carter didn't even wear 56 at Penn State.
No, he did not.
He wore number 11.
Even more disrespectful, guys. You just came for my number for no reason. Like, just no. What the hell is that?
So maybe he should go over and ask Phil Simms to unretire his number 11.
Oh man, goodness.
But I mean, Abdul Carter, he said, hey, he kind of laughed it off. He said, hey, had to ask. He's the GOAT. Sure. And I think that was Carter was trying to show respect. I think that was his way of showing respect. I just find it funny. He didn't even wear 56 at Penn State. So
yeah, I think you had even less of a shot of getting a yes by having not worn that number anyway.
Correct. You are nowhere near the number. Like, you're not even close to the number. Like
you're a receiver,
and here's the thing. I think LT, especially if he's on coke, he still has a shot at taking on Abdul Carter. Now, Carter could probably take Phil Simms 2 out of 3. So,
I mean, I doubt LT is scared, man. I don't know if LT will ever be scared, and for the rest of my life, like I don't know if he will for the entirety of my life be scared of anything.
It's just funny, but then again, maybe it has something to do with the position. One is a quarterback, and the other is like,
Anthony's asking about the number 0 there. You see that? What are your thoughts on a player choosing a number 0 when they go into training camp?
Well, I mean,
somebody's doing that, right? Who is it? There's somebody that is wearing 0.
Only up from there, guys. You know what I mean? If you're starting with 0 right off top, I mean, things got to get better from there.
Yeah, I mean, before you couldn't even have 0, right? Like that, it wasn't one of the numbers that was available to you. So this is newer after their new number realignment anyway. I mean, I don't care. You can rock whatever number you wanted. I mean, when I played receiver, I wore 82. As a corner, I wore 20. Like I just, they were numbers I liked.
Didn't Jim Otto wear 00?
Yeah, but I don't think they allow 00 anymore either.
Yeah, I know they didn't for a long time.
Well, it might be. I guess if 0 is allowed, I guess 00 is allowed too now, since they changed.
Well, I mean, if you're going to start retiring people's numbers for, losing bowl games and stuff, I mean, you're going to have to start opening up.
Gracious, right. You got to have triple numbers. If the criteria is to have and be somewhere for an hour and a half, you're going to have triple. We need to go to 3 numbers.
Yeah, didn't they run into this problem with the Y2K issue?
Yeah, man. They're going to run out of numbers soon.
Now introducing your free safety, 1145.
Guys, we have company now.
Nice. Hilarious.
We have company now. You have to act.
What's up, buddy?
Act like you're civilized. Okay? Right,
Oh, cool. Good to see you guys.
Clint's been here before. How you doing, Clint? Can you hear us? We can't hear you.
One sec.
He's like, yeah, this is definitely the wrong
He was
shit.
like, man, this is not. I don't have it tonight. These guys are crazy. Came in right mid. You know, we're already raging here.
Man.
Yeah. Oh, but anyway, until Clint gets back, let's talk about some of these picks here.
Anthony, the craziest coaching situation, easily Urban Meyer. That was a dumpster fire from the jump.
Okay, so we're going to start here with the 12th pick, where we have Jimmy's guys picking up guard Tyler Booker. Now, Don's not here now, but, I mean, Jerry taking a guard, not a wide receiver or, not going for the bling. What do you guys think? Did Jerry make that pick or did the young son make that pick? What do you think?
Dak probably made that pick. He's like, can you please not get me murdered?
You know, the NFL actually likes, or not NFL, but from what I've seen, a lot of talking heads, they kind of like Dallas's draft. Like, they don't hate it, Yeah. So all in all, they haven't really been crapping on it from what I've been reading.
I mean, to be fair, Dallas is actually decent at the draft. It's everything else that they tend to mess up.
It's just playing with the guys that they get once they get them is what you're saying.
Yeah. Because when you watch the draft, like they get dudes, and you're like, okay, like they can't do free agency for nothing. But when they do the draft, you're like, okay, like Jerry can do the draft, but then he needs to get on one of Elon's rockets and like go visit other planets and stuff for the football season so they can actually win.
Has anybody heard of him signing? What's his name?
Parsons. Has Parsons been signed yet?
Not that I've seen.
They're going to delay and overpay, my friend. We know what Jerry does. Delay and overpay. And the Jerry needs to go and try to get this done. Break the cycle, Jerry. You know you're going to pay the money. Just go ahead and pay it, brother.
I mean, it's already delayed and going to be way more expensive. Like they could have done this months ago.
Yeah, he's for sure going to pay the money eventually.
So, Clint, are we back now?
We're back. I didn't have any volume. I don't know what's going on, but I couldn't hear you.
There we go.
Can you hear me good now?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I take it, Clint, that you're a Denver fan from what I'm what I'm looking at here.
Born and raised.
All right, man. All right.
Yep.
Yeah. But Clint, we were talking about the jokes down there in Atlanta. Calling up the other players, and what'd you think? $350,000.
I think that happens every single week in pretty much every single sport. I remember 2009, Tim Tebow throws a jump pass down in Florida and then looked up the LSU fans and did one of these because he had been getting prank called all night. Nothing new. That's what happens. Kid that got drafted by the Bills out of UConn got prank called all night. There's a few more coming. That's what happens. You're in the public eye. You're going to get prank called. Now, the Atlanta coach that did it, that leaked he might, I guess, get a slap on the wrist, but that stuff happens every day.
A third of his pay is like a little bit
it's
more.
$100,000 slap on the wrist. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's steep. That's steep. But he should be smarter than that too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he wasn't actively trying to leak it. Like his kid was just eating it.
No, totally true.
Reggie's still, among us, but I mean, would he be the coach for Dallas? I mean, for the Falcons, but
see how good he is. You know how the NFL is. It's just another reason to get you out of here if you're not. So
imagine if you prank called him and then that team still took him.
Is that right? The other team's holding on the line. You know what I mean? For real, the real team.
It was
And then you hang up on him, right? Because you're like, dude, somebody already pranked me with this. Click, right? Like you hang up on the GM.
Clint, what did you think about LT telling Abdul Carter that make your own number, make your own legacy. I'm not giving you 56.
Well, I got a few problems with this. One, I know we get in our minds that numbers are sacred. They're not. He shouldn't be allowed to wear a 56 that says Taylor on the back. But I don't care if a kid comes in and wears a number 7 in Denver. That's fine. There's no sacred numbers. It's a number. It's a jersey. It's not going to say Elway on the back of it. And after his golf cart experience today, maybe it shouldn't. But I have a problem where we're trying to retire every single number, every single time. Hey, this kid is trying to just make his way, and that's what LT told him. Make your own legacy. Cool, but he's gonna have to eventually wear what the letter P as his jersey because they're running out of numbers. We can't retire every single number here in Denver. Hey, we want to retire 84, we want to retire 30. We're not the Yankees. We can't retire every number and end up using letters. So I have a beef with that personally. Secondly, I'm not sure we should be asking Lawrence Taylor what he thinks, because he thinks 16-year-olds are cool. But that's me. That's me.
Lawrence Taylor's not that, but Lawrence is kind of straight. Let me cape for Lawrence a little bit here, because for one, the kid can wear, what's wrong with 57, 8, 9, 60? What's wrong with any other number? It's not like they are in danger of running out of them right now. And also, It is still Lawrence Taylor. He's pretty good. I mean, he not off the field. Hey, listen, not winning any off the field awards. I mean, maybe none that we can say before 10 o'clock anyway. But let's just say, let me just get it out there though, that on the field he was a pretty good football player.
He's great.
I mean, I don't know. You think 15 years ago, him and Charlie Sheen at a party would have been a blast.
Man, goodness. So how much that would not work today, man, for so many reasons.
Oh man. So anyway, let's try and get back on the subject here. But what did you think about Jerry not going for the flash in the first round there, Clint?
About Jerry not going for what?
The flash. He took an offensive guard.
Somebody's talking to Jerry, because we know what Jerry wants to do. If left to his own devices, and I'm awaiting the day, and it might happen this year because Dak has struggled at times. I'm waiting for Jerry to take the field, helmet, no face mask, and just go out and play quarterback himself. He wants to, but someone got in his ear because he always wants to do something crazy. So someone talked him into, Jerry, come on. But again, I heard you talking earlier. Drafting hasn't been horrible for Dallas. They've done okay in the draft. They've had a hard time signing them later. They stall and then end up overpaying, and now they're out of money. But the draft itself, they've done all right. They've been okay.
Yeah. I think Bo had pointed out to us. Yeah, So let's see here. Bo, with the 18th pick in the draft, the Seahawks, they chose a guard also, Gray's Zabal. So, Bo, what was your thoughts on the Seahawks' first pick?
It's fantastic. They've needed interior offensive line for like 8 years now. So it was great for them to go get him. But they also grabbed a guy that not only is he really good at his natural position of a guard, but he is a guy that can play every position of the line. And if you've watched Seattle, that offensive line just historically, for whatever reason, gets beat up. So he's probably going to get – I would put money – like if there was a prop bet, I would put money he plays 3 different positions this year. Not because, I hope that's not true as a Hawks fan. I'd like to see our offensive line make it, past week 1. But based on history, there's a good chance he plays 3 of the 5 positions.
Okay. Clint,
Yes.
with the 20th pick in the draft, the Broncos, they chose the cornerback, Jahan Barron.
Yeah.
What
kid
was
out
your
of Texas.
thoughts? What was your thoughts on Denver's first pick?
Well, this is a case of a player falling to you that is just too good to pass up, because all reports were that Denver was going to take North Carolina running back Marion Hampton. But Barron is a pretty special player. And now you can plug him in opposite Pat Surtain. You've still got, little Jason Sehorn Jr. on the other side, Riley Moss over there. You can plug him in there too. In this division, with what the Chiefs did, what the Chargers did, now what the Raiders did, I don't know if you can have enough good defensive backs. And this kid might have been the best defensive back in this class. I don't think this is who they planned on taking. I literally think he fell to them and they're like, we have to. We got to take him. I think they were going to go running back. I think they were going to go offense. He was just too much to pass up.
So Rich getting richer right there. I'm telling you, man.
Well, the defense, at least they're going to need a little bit of offense, but the defense is solid, and that should be very nice help.
So, Dave, with the 21st pick in the draft, we took defensive tackle Derek Harmon out of Oregon. What did you think, Dave?
Great pick. That was a great pick. What I found interesting was the disparity between the national pundits and the local. Like I'm a contributor to the Steelers Depot. 9 out of our 16 contributors that did mock drafts all mocked it to Harmon, and only 2 mocked it to Shader Sanders. Looking at the national pundits, I saw one list of 16, and 8 of the 16 all were picking Shader Sanders. And I don't think that was ever really in the Steelers' plans. And they stayed disciplined, and Cam Hayward is going to be, he had a great season last year, but he's near the end of his career.
Getting up there for sure.
Maybe 2 seasons. So this is, hopefully this Harmon can step into his shoes. He'll be wearing 99. He won't be asking Cam Hayward for his number, I don't think. But I think it was a great pick.
Reggie, I forgot all about you. The Falcons, they had the 15th pick, and they chose a linebacker, Javon Walker. What was your thoughts there? Did you think they were going for a linebacker at first?
Yeah, this has been telegraphed down here for a long time, and we're fan base down here pretty happy with defensive needs being addressed, because we felt that was a sore spot for years and years and years. So it's kind of like if they had chosen another skill player down here, we would have rioted. Like we would have burned Atlanta down again. Like Atlanta would have been burned down again if they had chosen another wide receiver, tight end, running back. It would have been terrible. They would have been pissed down here. So when we see the ratio of offensive to defensive players, I don't even know if we took any offensive players. I got to look back through the draft, but we're very happy down here. We're addressing these needs that we feel need to be addressed, and this was just the start of that for us. And we knew this was coming for a while down here.
Well, now, did you know the trade was coming with the?
No, did not.
Texans,
Absolutely not. No, didn't see that. And you know what?
What you think about
That seems to be a mixed vote on that, because if Pierce turns out to be good, this will be much to do about nothing. If Pierce turns out to be good, but there are some people who felt like we gave up a bit much to jump back in and get Pierce. So I think this is going to be a situation where you just see where the output is. We've seen what the investment is initially. We need to see what the output is to see if this really kind of makes sense, because I've seen this split 50-50 on whether it felt like we gave up too much, and some people kind of happy. I'm happy we're taking some swings, but we're going to see how it all works out.
Well, let's see, Reggie. We don't have Reggie or Mr. Scott. I know Mr. Scott will be sneaking up in here later on. We know that for sure. So, guys, what did you think about some of these other picks here? We had We got the Vikings. The Vikings, they also took an offensive guard.
A lot of guards, a lot of O linemen this draft. Very deep O line draft for sure.
Yeah. Would you think about that pick, Clint?
Teams are doing what they're should have been doing the whole time, and that is going out and trying to strengthen those defensive and offensive lines, and that's where games are won. And so many times you fall in love with those skill positions. There were some skilled players in this, but when you have a class like this where the quarterback isn't big time, hey, now's your chance. Go get those interior offensive and defensive linemen, because there is no sexy quarterback on the board that your fans are going to scream about you not taking. So prime time for them to do it. And a few of them did. Vikings went and got a pretty good one. They obviously need some help on the offensive line. So yeah, not a bad pick there.
What'd you think, Bo?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was an incredibly deep draft when it came to offense and defensive line. And there wasn't huge drop off when it came. Like, if you were picking 15th through 45th, there wasn't a huge drop between talent. So you didn't really have to go reach to go get guys. It was if you needed linemen, this was the draft. If you needed a quarterback or something, you're just like, man, this guess we're going to kind of be bad next year too. But yeah, no, it was good. I mean, think back. When's the last time you saw a line draft this deep? Like, it's been years. There's usually like a couple of guys, and then there's just some dudes later. This one, like, it was a lot of talent.
For sure.
Yeah, and you know, if you talk about the pay raise between an offensive, well, especially a left tackle, the pay raise between 2010 and now, you know, that used to be quarterback money.
Yep.
You know, back in the day, you know, I mean, but you know, it's remarkable what you can make, the type of money that you can make as a lineman now. Dave, what did you think of that choice?
Important position.
What's that, James?
I said, what did you think of the Vikings' first pick?
Yeah, I agree with what everybody's saying. You know, you can, if you have a quarterback and if you can't protect him, then he's not going to be a franchise quarterback. He's not going to be long for the league. So you need to have a good, decent offensive line. There's a lot of tackles picked as well as the interior linemen. On the, you know, so I think for the Vikings, it was a great pick. You know, one of the things I wanted to mention back with Harmon is I was surprised that Grant and Walter Nolan went ahead of him, but I guess he had a little shoulder problem. So maybe that's why he dropped to the draft to Pittsburgh there. But yeah, Minnesota, they got J.J. McCarthy, and you know, I think that they want to invest in him, and part of that investment is drafting good offensive linemen.
Yeah, Dave, we had to talk because, well, first of all, Bo, what did you think about the trade that sent was it your backup to Minnesota?
Oh yeah. No, so I mean, he wasn't going to be here anyway. Like you knew that Sam Howell was gone as soon as they brought Drew Lock back. And the problem with Howell, right? His rookie year, he's with Washington, and he puts up some yards, right?
He wasn't terrible.
Yeah, but he threw an immense amount of picks, which let you know he wasn't seeing the field particularly well, right? He gets to Seattle, and you know, fortunately for me, I was at a lot of their preseason, you know, practices and stuff. So he was missing targets with no defense. Like you're not allowed to hit anybody, right? Like it's practice. Like you can't even touch that guy. And he's missing guys high. He's missing guys that aren't in coverage. So you knew he wasn't going to be long for the Seahawks. Like, they needed the backup, so they kept him. Plus, they gave up, as I recall, a second rounder to go get him. So, I mean, they had to invest the time to see if he's what he needed. But at the end of the day, you knew he was gone because you go get Drew Lock, who's proven that as a backup, he can go win games. You already signed Arnold to money. You draft a quarterback. There's no reason to keep that guy. So yeah, and they already let Hall go as well. They let him go earlier today or yesterday. So they are down to the 3 quarterbacks now.
All right. Mr. Scott, how are you doing tonight?
Doing very good. That was a great update from one of my Nemesis Bowl about Mr. Hall. I was wondering what was happening to Mr. Hall. You know, it was so unfortunate what happened to him here. He got a chance to start and was playing well, and then saw the end zone and tried to blast his way in the end zone and got knocked out. It's like maybe knocked out of the league, and he had the job actually. So
how is Bo your nemesis, by the way? Like what is that about? Like his team is not even playing the same. They don't play nowhere near your team.
I'm not even sure how that happened, but
like I feel like everybody here is his nemesis. That's what I just felt. By nature of being on this show, you are his nemesis. Absolutely.
Me. The first thing, like he said, I'm his nemesis. And I'm like, okay. Like, I'll embrace it. Hey.
Like, hey, might as well. He's like, hey, you're not my first nemesis. That's what Bo said.
So Mr. Scott, what did you think about your first round pick there?
Well, I'm just a little skeptical of the picks made by this GM. I mean, he does a great job with free agency and picking up people and building the team, but his picks, have really been kind of real iffy. But I like this. I mean, offensive line protecting the quarterback. I mean, that's a big thing. Young guy coming in, they've pretty much anointed him as the quarterback, and they picked up a Sam Howell. I mean, I guess they need somebody to throw in practice.
That's my bad.
Right? They need somebody to throw. So I think it was good. He's revamped the whole offensive line. They're really all in for getting this thing done this year. The rest of the picks, I don't really know. They didn't really have any good draft areas. Kind of low on the total pool there, but.
Well, yeah, you guys only had like 4 picks, right?
Yeah, they only had 4. Yeah,
very scarce, sparse.
But I'm confused here. The Vikings would rather pick up Sam Howell as their backup quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. But Dave, we want Aaron Rodgers as a starter. You got
man, do we have enough time to even start this show again, man? We'll be here till 12 o'clock because we're just cranking this thing all up again, man. Like, my goodness. Let me go get my Steelers shirt is upstairs. Let me go change. I'll be right back.
Pittsburgh needs a quarterback. Why not Shador? Why didn't they get Shador? I mean, he waited there.
That's later down. That's later on on the itinerary there.
Let me actually defend the Vikings here. Let me actually defend the Vikings here. They have a great quarterback development room, right? They made the spaceman look good. They made Darnold look all world. I would bet that Sam Howell probably, if he gets a chance to play, will probably play his best football in the league so far, just based on who's coaching him up.
And I will co-sign that. McCarthy, Jake McCown, his quarterback coach. I mean, come on. This has really got a chance to really work, and it's going to have to work for Kawisi because his drafting has been somewhat suspect. But I love McConnell. The coach is great quarterback guru. We're looking good. I only wish Demetrius was here so I could tell him about how we're going to do in the division.
Well, the Lions don't look bad. You know what I mean? Like that's it's not like they suck.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I knew there was going to be a defender, but
I'm just saying, like, it's reality here coming off the top rope. Saying.
So, come on, Dave. We got guys defending Howell here. I mean,
No. I'm defending the coaching staff. And I'm saying Howell could have his best year in the league, which is not setting the bar high.
Goodness.
I mean, Reg, you can interject here.
What can I say? Like, I'm not going to defend Sam Howell. Like, I like Sam Howell. He's on my fantasy team. He won me a couple of weeks. That's all I can say about the guy. Like, so, I mean, that's all I got. I don't have any hate for the guy, but
Yeah.
We're not talking about Sam Darnold. We're talking about Sam Howell, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're bringing him in to back up J.J. McCarthy. That's it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I like this. Aaron Rodgers should stay in his dark closet forever.
Hey, isn't there some more ayahuasca somewhere? Clint, maybe you're the voice of reason here.
That rarely happens. With Aaron's going to wait around till preseason and see who gets hurt. That's all Aaron's doing. He's going to be in his tent and he's going to wait and see who gets injured.
I mean, he'll play the same amount of preseason stuff that he was going to anyway.
Exactly.
Correct. I definitely agree with that. He was not playing.
No. he's going to stay in Joshua Tree and wait and see how preseason develops. So,
do you think that's what he's going to do, Dave? Wait around to after preseason? We're the only team left. It's not like he's.
We're the Will Howard show now, guys. It's when Will Howard we trust and Mason. We got Mason. And we got Will Howard.
I mean, Minnesota they had cut expectations of Aaron Rodgers going there weeks ago. But basically, I mean, just before the draft, Art Rooney II came out. He said, "Hey, based on the discussions we've had, we think that Aaron Rodgers is going to make a decision, hopefully soon after the draft." And they've left it open. And based on Aaron Rodgers, what he said on the Pat McAfee show about he's reaching a decision, he has his personal issues, he may retire. The only team right now that's there is Pittsburgh. And so Pittsburgh is being patient. Mike Tomlin basically said the same thing. If Aaron Rodgers retires, then, maybe they'll start talking to Atlanta about Kirk Cousins. But all they're looking at is a one-year rental. They got Will Howard in the 6th round. Nice big, quarterback. I'm fine with that. I don't think he's going to be a starter, but they're just looking to get through 2025, and they're trying to put together the best team possible. I think that they believe, the Steelers believe, a lot of fans don't agree, but they believe that they have a better chance of winning with Aaron Rodgers than without him in 2025.
See, I like Howard. I like Howard for you guys. Big body.
Yeah.
First time you've had one since Big Ben, right? And it's a guy that you guys like to use. Like, I actually really like Howard for the way you guys play ball.
But he's a developmental guy. I mean, that's not somebody that they're looking at coming out and starting week one.
Whereas Mason Rudolph is a day one guy.
Trubisky and Mason.
No.
I feel like if he's if he's as good as Trubisky and Mason mix,
oh my god, no,
you guys can do
we can't trust in Mason. No. If you're a Steeler fan, how is this possible? How is my team? How has this happened to my team where we're trusting in Mason Rudolph? Are you serious? Like, are we really trusting?
He won 3 games.
I'm praying for Aaron Rodgers. I'm praying for Aaron. You kidding me? I am praying for the man. Like, please come to Pittsburgh.
No, what I'm saying is
get Mike through this next winning season, because I want Mike to keep his winning record. So Aaron, come preserve Mike's winning season, please. Because Mason Rudolph is kind of the thing that fans do in local markets where it's so much hopium at this time of the year, and they wish Mason Rudolph can beat Lamar Jackson. Like, you wish Mason Rudolph can beat Joe Burrow. Like, you think it maybe can happen. But do we really think it can happen, guys? Or as we sit on this panel,
No.
do we really think it can happen? And I don't think we
No.
do.
Of
No,
course
that's
not.
why- That's why I
We've
was
seen that act,
that's
and
why
it
I was
goes
saying I
back to
like
the elephant in the room, which is Mr. Tomlin. You know, get this quarterback thing fixed. But nobody, you know, the two people right up here, right up
It
there,
needs to be fixed, man.
they're just
It really needs to be
It
fixed.
does.
Like, I don't know. It needs to be fixed,
just
man.
looking to get through 2025. They should be getting 3 or 4 compensatory drafts for 2026, which will give them the draft capital to trade up to get a quarterback that they're looking for. Now,
Is
who
there
that
somebody
is,
they like,
I don't
Dave,
know,
in
but
that?
that's-
So there's not anybody they're looking at in specifically that you know that they may be looking at in that draft?
They're
for
supposed to be
2026.
solid.
No, I don't
Okay.
know.
I mean, I just hope there's a
I
plan.
mean,
I just
there's a
want
lot
a
of
plan.
people, you know, the Penn.
there
I
is
hope
no
it's not the Penn State quarterback. I like Alar, but he's not. He's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna make it in the NFL.
I was just saying
Um,
Howard could potentially start and do something because you guys did go to the playoffs with a Trubisky Mason mix.
Right.
And if you can go to the playoffs with that, you can go to the playoffs with anybody.
Well, they almost went through the playoffs with Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
you can
saying.
go to the playoffs. Absolutely. It's just you're losing.
so-
You're going home.
Howard might tear it up.
But I think what they're looking for is a veteran like Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins, Mason Rudolph, and then bringing Will Howard along. And that's what they did with Ben. Ben started out as the third quarterback his rookie year.
Yeah,
He was
I mean,
behind Tommy Maddox, Charlie Batch, and Ben was number 3. That's the way Pittsburgh rolls. Charlie Batch got hurt. That moved Ben up to number 2. And you know, the rest is history there. Maybe, you know, Will Howard will be the guy.
Maybe
but
he
I
does.
think-
Maybe he turns into Ben if we don't have no problems, guys. I'll take
I'm
that.
hoping that he does. That'll
Me
make
too.
it
Me
a
too.
draft much easier.
What's going to be very interesting is with the clowns over with Sanders is how their respective careers are going to match each other.
Yeah, they're gonna be
That's
linked, man, for sure. Yeah.
Because both of them have an incentive to prove the selectors wrong. You know, for picking them as late as they did.
In
So,
the interest of watching the world burn, I do hope that you guys get Rodgers and aren't very good at the beginning, because then the attitudes of DK and Pickens with Rodgers will be electric.
I just want to hear the spin. I just want to hear the spin when that happens. This is what I'm pulling for. I just want to see that happen. I really do.
No, that's why I'm saying, in the interest of
Yeah,
watching the world burn.
If there's any coach that can manage Aaron Rodgers with DK Metcalf and George Pickens,
Mike's gonna have them
it's Mike
together.
Tomlin.
Absolutely. He's gonna have them buttoned up in there.
Well, you know, now
What faith they have, boy! What belief.
that brings me to another question here. Clint, what did you think about Jackson Dart getting picked as the second quarterback off the board?
It's interesting. I mean, I don't know that I was that surprised by it. Jackson Dart's a big, strong kid. I don't know how good of a quarterback he is, but he's a big, strong kid, so he looks good in the uniform. If I gave you the choice right now, and I'm going to give you HBO's Hard Knocks, in the Giants quarterback room, and they're just going to follow the quarterback room, and you've got like Russell Wilson counting cards and watching Watmer at 3:30. You got Jameis Winston talking about how amazing the wind is. Or you can be in Cleveland's quarterback room and watching, you know, Deshaun get a rub down and Shador going full Draco Malfoy saying, wait until my father hears about this. Which would you rather be in? Because it's tough for me. I could go either way.
I mean, it's got to be Cleveland's, because they got 5 quarterbacks at the moment.
Yes.
Like
Right.
that
And
is
They could do a series just on their
for-
quarterback room by itself. Their quarterback room could be the whole season.
that is
I'd be
absolute
entertained.
chaos.
It's
Like,
a
you
mess.
You got Deshaun, who he's going to be on IR the whole time. So
Yeah, he's out of here, man, for sure, right?
But then you have
Yeah, but he's still on the roster though.
right. You got
Yeah.
Flacco, who's
And he's
5
still on the
million years
training
old.
table.
You got Pickett.
I think Pickett
But
might be odd man out too.
they've already told Pickett that they're not picking up his 5th-year option.
Yeah, but they weren't going to anyway, because he doesn't play well enough to pay him that money, because if you play out his 4th year, you'll get him cheaper than his 5th year option would have been. So that actually makes a ton of sense. But then you have Gabriel and Sanders. So like all these guys aren't going to make the team. They're not going to carry 4 quarterbacks. So someone,
I hope they do.
Doesn't get there.
Competition time, man. Time to compete.
Well,
and to be fair, Gabriel actually fits their offensive pattern better than Shedeur does. So that'll be interesting to hear the narrative if Shedeur happens to be the one that's the odd man out, and they
right.
trade
What if he gets cut? Right? Wouldn't that be crazy?
Right? That'd be nuts.
Again, wait till my father hears about this.
Oh, man, that's
and they drafted 2 running backs too. I just don't understand. I did not understand the Browns draft. It's almost as if the owner at the last second said, "Hey, Shedeur's still available. You got to draft him."
I think they actually.
I don't think it was the coach's idea.
I think they just put positions on a dartboard, and wherever they landed, that's what they got. And they're like, "Oh man, we hit quarterback twice." I
don't know what happened to their coach.
But now
when he was here, I wanted him to be the coach. He was so good. But
they traded for Shakur.
Of course.
They traded for him. They didn't. I mean, I think
he might end up being their quarterback. Like we never know. We're talking about it as if the guy's a bum. He could still come out and be decent, and he could still come out and win that job and be that quarterback. So he definitely could come out and still be good. You know, the whole Shedeur thing was just looking at a board and saying, is there really 143 guys better than this kid? As far as coming out from a prospect standpoint, and there wasn't. So that's, I think, why it was so intriguing. If it wouldn't have been as intriguing if it wasn't. But to say that 143 people from a prospect situation would be better is the most important position. Your teams are just hoping that the guy sucks. The guy has to suck, because if he comes out and he doesn't suck, it's going to be issues.
But didn't you just have a coach say that he had the worst interview that he's ever had in his life?
And I feel like he kind of owns that. And for one, he does own it. And for two, there's no real sympathy here. So there's, as much as I can express that I think that this was crazy to see it, and there will be some hell to pay if he ends up being good and people and quarterbacks that they have aren't that great. I still think he earned it. Like, kid, you went out there, you didn't have the humility. This is what happens. Welcome. Put your big boy pants on. Go out there and make them pay. This is what happened.
And it cost you $40 million doing that. Like you went
out. He deserved it. He had like he already had the job. This is what happens, guys, when you go around thinking you already got the job. When you go around walking around like you already got the job.
Your talent must outweigh your baggage.
Yes. Well,
his talent doesn't outweigh his baggage. If he's going to be a second string quarterback, which is what every team in the league basically said, you're a second string. Who wants him sitting back there? All anybody's going to talk about is when he's a get in. When does he get in? When's he get in? Teams don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with, hey, the Giants take him. What's the column the next day? When is Dion taking over in New York? They're not dealing with that. Your talent has to outweigh your baggage, and his doesn't.
No,
at least not right now.
What's interesting is the Giants just had Sanders in like a week ago.
Yep.
And then they turned it around and traded up.
Well, I heard that went like a dumpster fire. I heard the Dayball interview was a dumpster fire.
For Dart. They still could have probably drafted Dart in the second round.
It sounded like he took a phone call in the middle of the interview.
Yeah, they said the Dayball interview was a complete dumpster fire, so that was never going to happen.
Tom Brady has a relationship with Shedeur. The Raiders could have used him. The Raiders didn't take him either.
No, I mean, for him to fall as far as he did, like I thought he was a day 2 talent, right? I thought he was a second round guy, right? I thought he was going to end up in the first round because it's a weak draft, but I thought he was kind of that second round guy. But then, to your point, once he got past that and people started looking at him as a backup, all of a sudden you start comparing him to, with all of the outside of football stuff that he has going on, it would be like having Cam Newton as your backup.
Yes.
There's just too much chaos.
We saw that happen in New England. They got him up out of there when they got Drake May, right? Was it Drake May? No, it wasn't. It was Mac Jones they got him out of there for. They got him out of there for Mac Jones.
Yeah, but I mean, so that's kind of the comp there, is it's like, okay, well, now you have all this chaos. Do you want that? Because if your starter has any kind of struggle at all. They're like, oh, you got to get him out there. And it's like, well, I mean, no, right? He's
you never want it. And the
Not
NFL especially doesn't want it for
Exactly.
sure. All the leagues that don't want it, the NFL does not want it.
No, and that's where the Browns absolutely made sense, because if there's ever a scenario where you mess up quarterback, it's the Browns. So when you have all of this noise with a guy that potentially is a backup, you're like, what organization does that make sense for? Well, the Browns.
I mean, look at the stuff their main guy has going on. I mean, this is like, in comparison, this is actually pretty good.
Better.
So,
Yeah, but I think it was Clint that brought the point up or Reggie, Shadur actually has a shot at ending up starting at Cleveland.
yeah, he does have a shot. I mean, you're there now. I mean, you're in the league now. Go throw the ball and be humble, kid.
So I'll give you a video actually of this presser, which is fantastic. Here we go. This is as excited as you should have it, James. This is the excitement level from their GM.
I already know the clip he's gonna play, and they were asked about this clip in their press conference.
Yep.
No. So it's not the clapping. It's not the clapping.
Oh, it's not the clapping. Okay.
No,
okay.
it's not
okay.
the clapping.
Okay.
This is actually their.
Yeah. Right.
No, because that wasn't like you knew that wasn't from the phone call, because you
Correct.
know
It wasn't
solid
synced up. It
prospect,
wasn't synced. Right.
At the most important position. We felt like it got to a point where he was probably mispriced, relative to the draft. Really the acquisition cost was pretty light, and it's a guy that we think, can outproduce his draft slot. So I wouldn't say it's any more than that. Mary Kay, I think, obviously Shadur has kind of grown up in the spotlight, but, our expectation is for him to come in here and work and compete. Nothing's been promised. Nothing will be given. So, I may, hesitate to characterize it as a blockbuster. That's not necessarily how we thought of the transaction, but we are excited to work with him. Felt like
that excitement level is amazing.
Good solid prospect.
I can't
That
imagine.
shows my total disdain for the rap game. See, I've brought this up many times over the year. I just detest it, and I just think that it has infiltrated the sports era. And I think that this is just—he's hurting
because
himself
they were dancing
so much.
down there. Is that what you're saying?
There's no way that there was 5 quarterbacks better than him. I just don't believe that. I don't believe it. Talent-wise.
I'm hard pressed.
Well, hold on now. Wait a minute, hold it. Because Bo, you took a quarterback too.
Yeah.
At number 92.
Milroe, and that's my guy from Bama. You know I love Bama. And I was wondering what the hell was going on there.
So there's a real difference. So Milroe is funny because he's a project for sure, right? But he at least landed in a spot that makes sense for him, right? Milroe, my comp for him is Anthony Richardson. Tons of athletic upside, not super accurate. But the difference is he's not going to go somewhere where he has to play day one. He's QB3 coming in. So there's not a lot of pressure. He's going to get a sit. He's going to get to learn. And so those types of things are going to help him progress in his, in his growth as a football player, especially as you move into the NFL. So situationally, I think it's actually a great fit. I'm not a huge proponent for Milroe, but if you were going to land somewhere and not have pressure and actually get to learn on the job, it's not a bad place to land.
Okay.
Reed.
Clint, the Broncos, let's see, they got running back R.J. Harvey at number 60, and wide receiver Pat Bryant, 74. Then you got Savion Jones at 101. So what did you think of your draft all totaled there, Clint?
It was interesting. I thought they had a few unexpected choices, but it felt like they just decided to go best player available. Barron, obviously, maybe the most fluid DB in the draft. So they didn't expect him to be there. They thought he'd be gone. They get him. RJ Harvey is a shifty kid. I saw him play a little bit. He's going to be the starter eventually this year, as long as he stays healthy. He's that kind of guy. Bryant is a strong kid, he doesn't have to be a starter. He doesn't need to be a day one starter. And then the two defensive players, they're going to, hopefully give them a little bit of depth on the defensive front. They also took, and I know when I say this, everyone's going to laugh, but they took Florida punter Jeremy Crawshaw, who they need because they lost their punter. Riley Dixon was gone to free agency. And then they went and got a project in Utah tight end, Caleb Lohner. He's a 6'7" basketball player. He played at Utah and at BYU. He doesn't have to be the guy because they went and got Evan Ingram this year, but he might be a project that might be worth watching in Sean Payton's offense. So I like what they did. I don't know that it was necessarily what everyone expected, but I think they just kind of went best player available. And for the first time in Denver in years, we weren't saying when are they going to draft a quarterback and how are they going to mangle this. So all good from that front.
So
It feels good to be able to say stuff like that.
Right.
It does.
That
Yes, it
again
does.
is setting the bar low. You're like, they didn't mess it up. That's a win.
In Denver's history, best drafted quarterback. I mean, Tim Tebow, Jay Cutler. It's pretty thin.
Yeah.
Every good quarterback in Denver has been, acquired some other way, but not by the draft. So for us to actually draft a guy, no, we're kind of still in shock. We're still looking around like, when does his warranty run out? Like, we're not quite sure. It's very new and different for us, but we're enjoying it.
Nice.
Okay, Reggie, the Falcons, like the Steelers, didn't have a second round pick, but you got safety, Javier Watts at 96 in the third round. Then you took another safety. Billy Bounds is 118 in the fourth round. Reggie, what's up? What do you think about your draft?
Pretty good. I don't really have much else to add from earlier. We want to address the defense. That's what we all wanted. And the draft, at least, is a representation to the fans that you're at least trying to, that you at least hear what we're saying. We want you to address certain things down here. And the defense has been one of the things we've been clamoring for them to address for a while. And we're very happy that they did so. So we'll see now what it looks like on the field. But we're very happy down here with how the draft went.
Okay. Steeler time here, Dave. We picked up, third round. We took a running back, Caleb Johnson. Fourth round, we got the kid out of where is it?
Ohio
Sawyer.
State.
We got Sawyer, in the fourth round. So, what'd you think? We addressed our running back situation. I think this kid will get some snaps in the coming season.
Absolutely.
And we addressed our edge here. This kid Sawyer, I think, is going to make the roster too.
Yeah, with Caleb Johnson, I think the reason he fell like below the two Ohio State running backs is he had a little slower 40 time. I think he ran like a 4.56, 4.57. But when you look at the film, I mean, he runs the outside zone. He runs the type of offense that Reggie's favorite offensive coordinator likes to run. And one of the things that Arthur Smith said in an interview is that he had actually adjusted his normal offensive scheme last year because Najee Smith is not an outside zone runner. He's more between the tackles runner. So Caleb Johnson seems to be a good fit for Arthur Smith's offense. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see how he fits. And then he and Jalen Warren will be a 1-2 punch. They got Gainwell, who they got from the Eagles before, and they still got Cordell Patterson. A little bit of a surprise when they got Jack Sawyer because they didn't really need edge was not necessarily a position of need. There were some other positions of need, but
quarterback was a position of need that we could.
Well, yeah, quarterback was a position of need, But the thing is Sawyer, a number of people had second round rankings for this guy, and they love his attitude. You know, he's the kid. There was the Ohio State-Michigan game. Whenever Michigan tried to plant their flag in the middle of the field, and an Ohio State planter went in the middle and grabbed that flag and kind of, no nonsense. That was Jack Sawyer. And so I think that the Steelers, they got abused at the end of last season. They really got embarrassed. And they're not used to being embarrassed that way. And I think that they're looking for players that can hand it out. And so they like what Jack Sawyer brings. And, he'll be a nice rotational piece with TJ Watt and with Alex Highsmith, as well as Nick Herbig. Did you want me to talk about the other picks or just those two?
Whatever you want, yo.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they when Pittsburgh
we got 2 7th rounders.
They actually traded back on day 3, and then they got this Yaya Black. I think he's also out of Iowa, defensive lineman, big guy, 330, I think he is. So they double dipped at defensive line. And then Will Howard was still there. That's when they took Will Howard. And then the 2 7th round picks that they picked up, Carson Bruner, his dad, Mark Bruner, was a tight end for the Steelers and is currently on the scouting staff. He's a tackle machine, probably somebody, if he makes the roster, will be a core special teamer. The guy I don't know a whole lot about is Dante Kent. He's a defensive back, a punt returner. That was the last guy that they had. If he can return kicks, that's where they really need some help because the Steelers really perform poorly on kick returns, and that was
the guy from the HBCU, right? Because everybody else we picked was from the Big Ten.
Well, he was from Central Michigan, Kent.
All right.
I think it was Central Michigan that he's from. Now, one interesting undrafted free agent that the Steelers got was Sebastian Castro, a safety. And a lot of people thought he was going to be drafted. So they signed 7 undrafted free agents. And this Castro, he might have a shot at making the roster. So I think overall, I'm happy they stayed disciplined. They didn't jump. And obviously, if they jumped on Shedeur Sanders in the first round or the third round, well, 31 other teams didn't touch him through the first.
Could have did it in the fourth. I think that once you get to the third or fourth, it becomes less cost prohibitive to make that move.
He got taken in the fifth.
He picked him, and so I think for the Steelers, it was they brought him in, they did their homework.
I just hope they're right because what it does is it looks cute, and I hope we're not getting cute. I hope we're not resting on laurels on with the Steelers way or the way the pass is, and we're just not getting cute. That's all I'm hoping is that we really like Will Howard. I really hope that Will Howard really comes out as that guy, man, because that's the guy now for me. It's gonna be Will.
Well, I mean, it comes down to the way they evaluate, and teams misevaluate. The Steelers thought that Kenny Pickett was their guy; they misevaluated him. That happens. Obviously, now maybe if Shedeur Sanders was available in the 6th, maybe they would have drafted him in the 6th. But what the Steelers do, they don't normally do a best player available. They do a combination of best player available and position of need. And they kind of balance it. Now, what will happen, like in Sawyer's case, obviously he was way up on their draft board. And when he was available, it was like, okay, this is a guy that's going to see some of the field in 2025.
But can't this be a make or break season for Tomlin? I mean, nobody I mean,
What, if
this
he
Why
loses
do you-
one
why
season
do
in his
you-
entire life, like that now he's fired, like you lost one season, now you're gone, you're out of here.
You never think that there's
They
any.
can't wait for the guy to
blemish
lose one
whatsoever.
season to be like,
But,
oh, he's out of
what is
here.
what is the rest of the fans? What I mean, are they really just tied to mediocrity? Where they
Well,
just
there's many fans that have been screaming for Tomlin to go for the past 5 years. There's plenty of Steelers
And all
fans
he's done is win
that can't
all those
stand
seasons.
him for a
That's all
lot
he's
of
done.
different
Just
reasons.
win all those seasons. That's all he's
But
done.
the fact of the matter, he's a Hall of Fame coach. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Mr. Scott just wants.
He just
just
bounced
wants.
out.
Well, he ran away now, but the thing is with Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, what they're suffering from is not having a losing season since 2003, and the way the NFL
Man,
is
I want to suffer from
designed is
something
to
like that,
punish
man.
teams that don't lose. You know, that's the whole idea of the parity is have some losing seasons so that you can draft. Ryan Clark, a former Steeler safety, saying, "Oh, I hope they have a losing season," but that's not the way the Steelers are.
Why does he hope they have a losing season? Why?
Well, so that they can get a higher pick in 2026.
It's not we do in Pittsburgh. That's not going to happen in.
That's what I'm saying.
People keep
as long as you're picking in the bottom half, of the draft, it's not about you. You have to draft for needs when you get down there. Bo, how surprised were you guys with Bo Nix? I mean, Clinton. I'm sorry.
How surprised were we? Oh, we were shocked out of our mind. We were shocked that, well, initially, I think they were shocked they took him that early. But as opposed to Shador, when Peyton gave him a playbook and told him to go home and study it, he came back and had it memorized. And Peyton said, that's my guy. He reminds me of Drew Brees. So it worked well. And you saw as the season went, Nix got better, kept improving. By the end of the season, he didn't look as much like a rookie as he did at the beginning of the season. Made very, very, good progress, which is what you would hope. But like I said, here in Denver, not what we're accustomed to. We're used to taking disasters in the draft at quarterback, and we have a list of them. So, I mean, from Paxton Lynch to Tommy Maddox to take your pick, we've got a million of them, and they've all crashed and burned hard. So for us to actually get a guy, it's pretty huge here in Denver.
I like Nix. I think he really is a guy too. I think he is.
He seems like he is. And to see not just can he make the throws, the way he prepares, the way he competes, even, pushing back a little bit against Peyton in some of those games, not to the point of being an idiot, but kid wants to win. And you can tell it means a lot to him. They're hopefully getting a few weapons around him. And this year, your best receiver is Cortland Sutton. It's not very close. And Sutton is not consistent. So, love some Sutton, but he'll drop a easy one right in his hands every time. Go get Evan Ingram. Go get a couple other guys. We'll see if they can make Nix a little bit better this year.
That's interesting. That wide receiver room there, especially, is interesting.
It's not great.
I don't know why Scott ran away. I was just going to say that. Why would you fire Tomlin? You just extended him.
I think.
Oh, there he is. You just lured him back out. You just lured him back out, man.
It's starting to feel like
the bell.
it's starting to feel like the night my great hero, the great George Foreman, my former neighbor, took on 5 men in one night in Madison Square Garden. It's starting to
I don't even think Clint said anything. Clint wasn't even in on this. He was just sitting there.
Guilty by association.
Right. Right.
So Mr. Scott, I want to ask you about your draft picks here, because you took a wide receiver. What's his name here? Ty Felton. And then you took an edge rusher here at where was it, number 139? You could have picked up Shador right there. He was going, and
stack up another. Let's just stack that room all the way up.
I mean,
someone should have taken him, but I mean, I'm not going to.
That was before you took Sam Howell. I mean, come on, Mr. Scott. You passed up Shador to get, but anyway.
How crazy would that have been? You have JJ, right? And then Shador.
No, bro, that's Shador's job. No way. You need Sam back there, bro.
No,
that's a
Vikings
much better move for the
choices.
Vikings.
Like I say, that the general manager, his drafting really has not been superlative. I mean, last year he took the edge number 1 from Alabama, who I thought he was really going to be good, but he could hardly get on the field. And so before that, Lewis signed the safety that he took. He never played through his whole contract. He was a number 1 draft pick. So his greatest skill has been picking up free agents and building the team through that. So, where everything's on McCarthy. I mean, that's the name of the game right now for the Vikings. And I think it's looking really good. They picked up a running back. Aaron Jones is still got some life in him. You got Jefferson. You got Flores. His defense. I mean, the Lions are in big trouble. I mean, I think that we're going to turn the tables on this year. This is the time. If the key is if McCarthy is really what we think he is. I mean, when we saw him at Michigan, he didn't have to do that much. The team was so stacked. The team was so loaded. So
you have zero clue. That's the problem. No clue. No clue what this guy's going to do. We got to see him come out here. We have to see it.
They're using that same script, and they're putting everything around him. So I'm really excited for the Vikings this year. I mean, I think
he's got JJ to throw to. That's not a bad, Jordan Addison out there. It's not bad.
Right.
It's not bad weapons.
Then you got that Hawkinson. How in the world
Aaron Jones can catch the ball. He can catch the ball
from the Lions. I mean, how in the world you get somebody like that in your division during the season? I mean, so he makes good moves, but drafting, I really haven't seen much from him yet. But the team's looking really good. We're there, and I'm hoping that Bo and Sam Darnold. I hope that love affair continues. I really do. I mean, Sam's going to give you a lot of good thrills during the year. But
goodness gracious!
What gave you the thought that I was in love with this guy? I'm like
built by association, man. You don't even know that guy, man. That guy, you haven't even seen that guy play yet, bro. But you love him.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just hoping he's not bad.
Right, like the rest of us. We just hope these guys don't suck.
For 100 million, somebody must believe something. I mean,
I mean, let's be honest. If he plays like he did in Carolina, that wins you 9 games in the league, right? Like, he wasn't great, but he wasn't bad, right? As long as he doesn't play like he did with the Jets, it's okay. And for us to go get a interior offensive lineman, we can mitigate how much, how many ghosts he sees during the year. So, I mean, they're giving him a path for success. So I at least appreciate that. But I mean, we haven't seen him do anything. And when you look over his career, he has 1 good year. I'm not sold on the guy. I hope he's great because he's playing for my team. So naturally I'm like, man, it better work. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sold on him. Like I need to see some film with our team.
All right, guys. I'm gonna give everybody a shot at this. We kind of go around the room here, even though we've all talked about it here and there. The Clowns, they took Shador at 144 at the beginning of the 5th round, and so now they have. As we were saying, they have 5 quarterbacks. They took 2 in the draft, and they had already got Mason and Blanco. We all know that Deshaun will be on IR, still collecting his $218 million. So Stephen A. says that Dion had a lot to do with this. just slide too. And then you find out, that his other son actually fired him and went to another.
Got hired an agent and got
Yeah,
hired. That's like, yeah,
so,
it's crazy concept, right? For sure.
Right.
So Reggie, what's your thoughts here? Why do you think Shador fell so far?
Okay, guys, and I'm gonna get out of here after this. Attitude determines your latitude, ladies and gentlemen. Attitude determines your attitude. Here's the thing: no matter what and I have cape for Shador a lot because I do think that there will be hell to pay. To Clint's point about the second round grade that these teams had on him, they better be right. He better really be that bad of a player. But even if he's not, let's say he's a good player. Attitude still determines your latitude. You just don't want to jerk around. Get the hell out of here. You come in here with your little entourage and nobody knows you. You haven't done anything for anybody. And you come around into these interviews, you act like you already got the job already. So this is going to rub everybody wrong because they're human beings and this rubs humanity wrong. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes having a jerk around. Nobody likes having someone right around who's assuming that he's already a Hall of Fame quarterback making demands on you and stuff like that. And people are like, do I really want to bring this circus in here? So I think that is what hurt his stock. I do think that Deion Sanders being Deion's son situation also hurt his stock. I just randomly had a light just randomly come on here in my studio. That's just really, really weird. But it's just flashing now. But yeah, it's interesting that you can't really separate Deion from this, guys. I don't think you can. I don't think you can separate Deion from what happened here. And if Deion wasn't making all these demands, I guess during Super Bowl week they said he made demands, but he kind of came off of those too late. And when he came off the demands, it was kind of like, well, now we don't want your kid around. So I think attitude determines your latitude is the lesson here. You know what I mean? He'll get a chance to change the narrative. He's on a team now. Go out there and play and make people pay for not drafting you.
You want to give us your final thoughts, Reg, for you?
Yes, I have one final thought, and that final thought is, God, I hope Will Howard is a good quarterback. I really want Will Howard to be my quarterback, and I hope he's good. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I'll see you next time.
Take care, Reggie.
I gotta jump out,
guys.
I gotta jump out as well.
Go ahead, Bo.
And I can pretty much echo exactly what Reg just said. Like, he has so much noise around him that his play didn't outperform it. And of course that is what we talked about before. And there were knocks on his game, even if he did everything that everybody loved. The knocks on his game is he doesn't have a super powerful arm, he has a slow release, and he's not overly athletic. Well, then you couple that with the entourage and all the noise and, his dad meddling and then them deliberately tanking some interviews because they're trying not to go places. A lot of people will move you off their board for that. So that is solidly on you. And so, I mean, sometimes you get what you sow, right? I mean, that's just part of it. And then final thought, for all of you younger people out there watching, if you're going to do something dumb, don't put it on film. Take it easy, everybody.
All right, Bo. Hey, Bo, by the way, the GMs talk to each other too.
Yes, they do. Yep. And if you're a problem, they'll let each other know. It's funny that people think they don't. There's only 32 of them. Of course they talk. Take it easy, guys. Good to see you.
Enjoy Sam Darnold. Enjoy Sam.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Clint,
I hope so.
Glad you could join the madness once again. I know it's I know it's hard, but tell us what's your thoughts on the Shakur situation? Do you agree with Stephen A? That part of this is Deion, but Deion said that he would only let him go to certain teams, but he goes to the Browns.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
I mean,
I was a basketball coach for a long time. Deion strikes me as that AAU parent that's coaching the team that runs plays over and over to make his kid look good, and that's fine if his kid is good. He had a wonderful completion percentage. I mean, there's that. He went 1-7 against ranked teams. He was barely above 500 as a starter. there are some flaws to his game. And then you add in, again, the baggage, the nonsense, the circus. Nobody wants that. These teams don't want that, especially when you're not going to be the starter, at least not on day one, if ever. But they don't want the nonsense. You know, the biggest thing that stands out to me, though, because it seemed like everybody on this panel tonight was kind of in agreement. I don't know that he's a 6th round pick or whatever, but maybe he can play a little bit, but maybe he's not garbage, whatever. Everybody's kind of in agreement. He didn't look like a day one starter. I think why in the world did ESPN act like everyone else was crazy and he is a day one starter? Where did that come from? Stephen A acted like that. I saw obviously Mel Kiper was up there sobbing on the platform. Why isn't he getting picked? Keeping in mind, by the way, that idiot told us Jimmy Clausen was the next coming. So I don't know if I'm going to take his word as gospel, but what did ESPN have it invested in the University of Colorado that they needed him to be drafted in the first round? That was the most bizarre thing to me. Wasn't everyone else, I think, was kind of like, no, I think he's maybe a day 2, day 3 guy, except for the so-called experts on ESPN that were under the bed weeping and sucking their thumb and saying, why isn't he being drafted? Because no one expected him to be, except you. You were the only ones that thought he was going to be. That's the odd part to me.
Hey, I hear you, Clint. Come on, man. You got to tell everybody how to find the Daily Dose, and you know, this is your commercial. This is your commercial time.
This is my commercial. All right, this is my commercial. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary. We've been doing the podcast for 10 years. You can find it pretty much anywhere, but yeah, we've been rolling for quite a while now. Not sure if anybody has seen the Netflix special Counterpunch. A couple of young amateur boxers on there. Cam F. Awesome is going to be on the podcast this next week. Had a NHL commentator and author on this past week. Got a few things coming up on the Daily Dose. So yeah, check out the Daily Dose wherever you find your podcast. It'll be out there. We've been on a while now.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Coming. Thank you for the invite. I always appreciate it.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Clint.
Nice to meet all of you, and appreciate y'all's time.
All right, man. You have a good one.
You do the same.
So, Mr. Scott, what's all this nonsense about Shedeur? You know, was it Dion? Was it the fact that he just didn't have the talent, but he was, because he, the overhype, what was it?
Well, I think it was the Dion. I think it was the Dion factor. I think he could have went to Pittsburgh, but I think Tomlin, that smoke, that just wouldn't have flew there. But I think that would have been. They need a quarterback. You guys need a quarterback.
We got our quarterback. He's from Ohio State. Watch what I tell you. He's going to be at least. He might not be a McCarthy yet, but he's going to be the quarterback of the future.
Well, I'll finish what I'm saying. You've drank the Kool-Aid, so that's okay. But I think he can play, and I think that this comeuppance, maybe we'll really be able to see how serious he is about football. I mean, you got to realize these guys now in college, they get this NIL money. I guess he's running around with Rolls Royces or all these fancy cars and jewelry. I mean, he
bought his daddy house. He bought a house for Dion.
So he's been living the life. So, I mean, football is one of these things, man, that you got to dive in, and this is one-on-one type stuff. So we'll really see. And I still don't know what happened to that coach, Stefanski, because when he was here with the Vikings, I tell you, he was a great coach. He was the quarterback coach. He was offensive coordinator. But when he went to, it's like it's just all fell apart when he got Mr. Massage. And then, you want to talk about a hit and miss. I mean, that's kind of the biggest hit and miss in the last several years with a team. I mean, he's actually ruined that franchise with Mr. Massage. So, I mean, this is an opportunity. And again, why do you have 5 quarterbacks there? I mean, I just have to see how their camp goes. I have to see, but I think Shador has talent. And I think if he really wants to be a pro quarterback, this is his chance to show it.
But y'all passed on him too, Mr. Scott.
Oh, we have a quarterback. We have the number 1 pick from last year. He was injured. We're set, but Pittsburgh doesn't have anything like that. They have a retread that they've had before, and they brought him back when he was failed before, and then they brought him back. So
we're getting ready to go with another retread. What's Aaron Rodgers? Anyway, that's you got me all. You got me all.
Well, he's former All-Pro. I mean, he's been to the Super Bowl. I mean, I think Aaron Rodgers would be. I'd like to see that happen. I mean, I really would. That's something I would enjoy. I would just be giddy to see that happen. I would enjoy that just to see the spin from Dave, from James King. I would just love to see how this would be spun.
I'd be happy. But if he took the Steelers to the Super Bowl, I'd be elated.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, we're making the playoffs with Band-Aids, so we'll see. But we just can't keep doing it. But go ahead, Dave. Give us your views on
Shador,
and then you can talk. Final thoughts. After
all right. Well, here's the thing: is Shador. He played in the Big 12. You know who 2 of the most prolific quarterbacks that ever played in the Big 12 are? Landry Jones and Mason Rudolph. I mean, the Big 12 is not really known for defense. And, and you take somebody like Will Howard, Big 10, I mean, he's had to play against the Oregons. He's had to play against all the big teams. Now, Colorado had some tough schedules, but look what they did in those games. But all that said, really, we were I think you were talking about hit or miss. What's hit or miss are these national pundits. And I mentioned it before when I was talking. 9 out of the 16 Steelers Depot contributors, bloggers basically, all picked Harmon to be the number 1 pick. Where 9 out of the 16 national pundits all picked Shador Sanders to be the Steelers pick. They don't know. These national pundits don't know the Steelers. Now, here's the thing. If Shador Sanders is that good, he's going to take a team to the Super Bowl. He's going to take a team to the playoffs. And then that will justify maybe Stephen A. Smith, who's all these guys, that are yelling and spouting off. But on the other hand, if he turns out
Dave, these guys are.
Let me finish, James, please.
Go ahead.
If he ends up being a career backup because he's not that good, well, maybe all these national pundits need to reevaluate their ability to identify talent, because there were 32 teams that didn't pick him. And I tell you what, if he had the talent, one of these teams, you don't think Baltimore or some other team, if they felt that this guy was going to take them to the Super Bowl, wasn't going to pick them to beat their division rivals? Of course they would pick them. I just don't think, and if all 32 teams are wrong, well, I mean, that says something about the NFL. I mean, you're back to the Ryan Leaf, Peyton Manning question. But I mean, I think he has I think he was lucky to be selected in the 5th round, because now all the pressure's off. And he has nothing but incentive to prove everybody wrong. I just hope he doesn't do it in Cleveland.
But here's the thing, Dave, because I mean, maybe things have changed, and I'm sure my old age again here, but beat writers are supposed to know their beat. The guy that covers Minnesota is supposed to know the team. He's supposed to know he's supposed to know their weaknesses, their strengths. That's why we look to that's why they're called pundits. Now, if you can't trust these people, and in the past, it's proven, that uh, even a pundit, I mean, what do you have to hit? 57%? You don't have to even be 60% right, in order to be a pundit. And that's what it seems to me. I mean, not only you had 32 teams that passed on him for 4 rounds, 32 teams, and then you go to the Browns. I mean, it would be different if he, maybe if he had, went to the Kansas City Chiefs or.
But this actually, the Browns might be the best thing that happened to him. Because look, Joe Flacco's 40-something. He's had back problems. He's not going to finish the season in all likelihood. You got Kenny Pickett, who hasn't really done anything. He did a couple snaps in the Super Bowl.
And they've told him that they're not picking up his option.
So, the thing is he actually may have an opportunity to start with Cleveland this year. And if he went to most other teams, he would not have those same opportunities.
And these pundits, I mean, you can't go by them. Yeah, they follow the team, they travel with the team, they do, but you can't go by that. I mean, that's like going out to the racetrack and the man hands out the little paper that says who's going to win. I mean, they're as accurate as that. And so
right.
We've seen play. I mean, Tom Brady. We've seen people that just haven't been drafted. And Frank Tarkin, the number 3 draft pick, when they had 30 draft picks out of Georgia to Minnesota. So you can't go by that. And it's just once the lights come on and the team start playing, I think I agree with Dave. I mean, this could be a real opportunity for Shedeur. I mean, because that number 1 spot is not filled. It's not filled. And Flacco maybe will come in as the number 1, but he's past his use by date.
Of course,
He showed enough, to maybe start the season with him, see how he goes. But I'm still perplexed by Kevin Stefanski. I mean, that as the head coach and why he can't put together something, why he went all in on that trade ruined Cleveland. They gave up all their first-round draft picks, all these first-round draft picks. They made Houston a good team, taking this guy off their hands.
But Jacksonville just took him off the hook.
Yeah.
But hey,
but I think Shedeur, if he gets a chance, and he's willing to put the rap stuff down and really be focused on the job of football. I mean, he's got a good pedigree. I mean, he played at a top college.
Did you watch that tape, Mr. Scott?
Yeah, I saw.
The kid was picked 144th in the 5th round.
Yeah.
He should be trying to study his craft instead of acting like a damn fool.
Well, I've had enough. I've said enough about the rap game and my thoughts on that. My feeling about that. I mean, Dave, what did you think? I mean, there's one thing is, being, like enthused. I understand, but you were picked 144th. Shouldn't you have some humility? I mean,
well, I contrasted with Will Howard, where he was you saw him begging, please, pick me. And he was in the 6th round. And a lot of people thought he would be drafted a lot higher too. He has the same incentive. I liked his attitude. The guy, he wants to play. With Shedeur, I'm not sure how much he wants to play. he has other interests.
He wants to be seen.
Right. That's what it looks like. But I don't know him. I don't spend time with him. But that's what it makes it look like. And now, if when he's away from the cameras, if he's cracking the playbook, if he's if he's really working well, it's about what he does now. It's not about Dion. Dion doesn't matter now. It's what Shador does.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
And it's up to him, and it's up to Will Howard. It's up to Jackson Dart that got picked in the first round. It's up to Cam Ward, who was the number one pick. Can he live up to being a number one pick? So all of them have something to prove.
Yeah, and as a quarterback, Shador, you have to get your teammates behind you. You know,
Right.
you have to really, these guys are working for you. You have to really show you can lead these guys. That's your job as a quarterback. So that he's going to have to show those kind of qualities too in camp. He's going to have to show and convince his teammates that, he's serious about playing football and winning football games. So that's to be determined. He's got a chance, and we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, I do. Hey, everyone should have that chance. And hopefully, he'll make the best of it.
And that's the beauty
But
of sports. As Dave was saying earlier, like Colorado and these divisions are known for certain things like quarterbacks, but Mahomes went to Texas Tech. In that division, Houston and Texas Tech, they always were just purely offensive with no defense. They didn't think those quarterbacks were any good. A lot of them, David Klingler. I mean, a lot of these kind of guys came out of these big numbers, but didn't do anything in the league. So, this can go a lot of ways, and I'm hoping he can show his talent.
Speaking of things that could go a lot of ways, seems like you guys are handling your business there with the Lakers.
Well, yeah, I'm a little bit distracted by it right now.
Okay.
I'm watching that. It's looking pretty good. I mean, we can get rid of Take My Talents today. This could be the end of Take My Talents in the playoffs anyway. So it's and in LA too. Boy, this would be great. So yeah, and Anthony Edwards, Jordan-esque. What can I say? I mean, he makes it look easy. The games I went to, he just has me and my brother just like, is it that easy? The way he does it, just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
no, it's a big thing.
All right, guys. Well, let's get out of here. I guess we kept it on till almost 8 o'clock. I was trying to get, but see, Mr. Scott always makes us run late because we don't know when he's coming in. But we know you're gonna be here. But and you're gonna by the time you get in and throw a couple little pebbles around, and you know how it goes when you throw the pebbles in the water, you get the big rain. So
well, I'm hoping maybe by next week we'll have the Aaron Rodgers saga maybe resolved, and you guys will have your script together, the spin, how great this is and how happy you are. I don't know. I just want to hear the spinning, how this is going to be spun. I'm just just really pulling for that to happen.
We'll see. I'll once he's there, then I'll believe it.
Yeah.
The thing is, he doesn't seem to want to go to camp. That seems to be part of the issue too. So I don't.
Oh, there's a couple months before that.
I don't see Aaron Rodgers being Rumpelstiltskin. I just I don't see him spinning nothing into gold, Mr. Scott. So all right, guys, let's get out of here.
All right.
We've had a good little conversation here. Mr. Scott, I want you to know that because of our little show, we actually had Dave look at the fall of Minneapolis. As he said, it kind of gave him a new perspective.
Oh, so you actually saw the movie?
Yeah, well, I watched your podcast, and then I went on the website that you talked about, watched the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it actually
Well,
changed my point of view.
let me tell everybody goodbye first, and then you guys can talk for a minute.
All right.
But yeah, have a great evening, everyone, and we'll see you next week right here on the Sportz Krib.